Guys, it's official now. Fernando Mendoza just declared for the NFL Draft. And you know what Tom Brady just talked about our future quarterback? Honestly, what he said tells you everything you need to know about where this kid's head is at. Plus, I want to talk about the coaching search because, look, people are panicking about the Raiders supposedly missing out on coaches, but the reality is way different than what you're hearing out there. What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook, Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. So, Fernando Mendoza officially declared for the draft, and honestly, this feels like it's been coming for weeks now. The kid just went 16-0, led his team through an incredible season, and now he's ready to take that next step. And you know what? Everything we're hearing, everything we're seeing, it all points to him becoming a Raider. I mean, this isn't some wild speculation anymore. This is looking like a done deal. Tom Brady, our minority owner and the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, went on the herd recently and talked about Mendoza. And listen to what he said.
I got to ask you this, though. Everybody in the world saw you watching Fernando Mendoza, who I absolutely love. What did you see from him? What did you see from the quarterback?
Yeah, it was also a great experience. Obviously, I live in Miami, so it was a 30-minute drive to the game, and and the fact that they were playing in the game and all it worked out. My son wanted to go to the game. I brought him. We sat up there in the suite and got to be on the field in the pregame and just observe. And I haven't been to a college football game in so long. Never been to a national championship game, but just to see kind of the environment, the atmosphere. You know, did it feel too big for anybody? And he's played tremendous, all season, 16-0, leading his team. And again, he's another guy that, when you hear him speak, I always kind of judge quarterbacks and I go, how would I have answered that? And he's just a very mature young man, and he's got a bright future. And, everybody coming into the league, there's still so much room for development. Nobody's a finished product. I don't care whether you're won the Heisman or you're the 199th pick in the draft. It's what do you do when you get there? How important is this to you? Are you obsessed with your job? Are you obsessed with being the best you can be? These young men, whether it's Fernando or a lot of other players that were on the field the other night, they have a great opportunity to do something in their life, to enhance their family's life, to go impact a community in a positive way by playing great football and bringing joy to the fan base. And that's a job you take very seriously.
So basically, he talked about how Mendoza played tremendously all season, how he's led his team to that perfect record. And then Brady said something really interesting. He said when he judges quarterbacks, he asks himself how he would have answered certain questions. And Mendoza just comes across as a very mature young man with a bright future. Coming from Brady, that's not just lip service, that's a real evaluation. But Brady didn't stop there. He talked about how nobody coming into the league is a finished product. He said it doesn't matter if you won the Heisman or you were the 199th pick in the draft. What matters is what you do when you get there. How important is this to you? Are you obsessed with your job? Are you obsessed with being the best you can be? And honestly, that's the kind of mentality we need at quarterback. That's what we've been missing for years. Brady also talked about the responsibility these young players have. He said whether it's Fernando or other players from that national championship game, they have a great opportunity to do something in their life, to enhance their family's life, to impact a community in a positive way by playing great football and bringing joy to the fan base. He called it a job you take very seriously. And look, that's the kind of perspective we need in this organization, not just talent, but guys who understand what this means. Now, Mendoza himself has been talking about the Raiders, and I love what he's been saying. He went on the Today Show and talked about how the Raiders have a great culture, a great coaching staff, and a great ownership group. He said those are legit guys, and he'd be happy to end up anywhere, but you can tell there's something there with the Raiders. The way he talks about the organization, the way he's been making his rounds, changing his LinkedIn profile, all of that stuff, it's happening. This kid is going to be a Raider. And you know what's crazy? There are people in the media right now trying to talk the Raiders out of taking him. I've never seen anything like it. You've got the #1 pick, you've got a draftable quarterback at the top of the draft, and somehow the media is trying to convince the organization not to take him. It's wild. When Caleb Williams came out, everyone said you have to take Caleb Williams. When Joe Burrow came out, you have to take Joe Burrow. No matter how bad the team is, you draft the quarterback. But now with the Raiders, suddenly it's different. Suddenly we need to build the team first. And listen, what happens when you build a team up and you still can't get a quarterback? Then what? You've been in the same position we've been in for years, and the narrative's going to be for the next 20 years that the Raiders could have had Fernando Mendoza and they chose not to draft him. I'm not letting that happen, not on my watch as a fan.
The Raiders have had underwhelming play from every quarterback that's taken a snap for them over the past few years. Year in and year out, our quarterback position has been among the worst in the league. That changes with Mendoza. It has to. And honestly, the fact that Tom Brady is working behind the scenes, that he's now publicly aligning himself more with the team, that he's evaluating this kid and giving him his stamp of approval, that means something. John Spytek, our general manager, knows how critical this offseason is. He said it himself. Are there two more important hires in an organization than quarterback and head coach? Those two men usually steer the ship, and that's what's out in front of us right now. He's right. This offseason is about getting those two things right, and with the first overall pick, we can get the quarterback. That's locked in. So now we need the head coach. But you know, there's a lot of noise out there about the Raiders supposedly missing on coaches or losing out on guys. And honestly, that's just not accurate. People are panicking, saying we struck out, saying we're in trouble, but the reality is completely different. Let me break this down for you. The Raiders were very clear from the beginning about what they wanted. They want a young offensive coach. That's been the plan the whole time. Before Pete Carroll was even fired, the conventional wisdom in the building and around the league was that the Raiders would prefer a young offensive mind. That hasn't changed. That's still the plan. Spytek talked about this. He said they're looking for someone to build this the right way, not someone who thinks they need to produce 10 wins next year. He said, you're never as good in this league as you think you are, and you're never as far away as you think you are. They're being open-minded, they're doing their homework, and whoever's the best coach for the Las Vegas Raiders is who they're going to hire. They're not beginning with the end in mind. They want a meticulous build that will set them up for years of success in the future. Now, the names. The top candidates are Klint Kubiak, Mike LaFleur, and Davis Webb. Those three guys are still available, all of them. So what exactly did we miss? What did we lose? People are freaking out because we didn't hire Jesse Minter, who went to Baltimore. But here's the thing. We interviewed him, he was impressive, but he didn't fit what we're looking for. We're looking for an offensive guy. Minter is a defensive coordinator. That's not a miss. That's staying focused on the plan. The Raiders also interviewed some other guys who emerged during the process. Davis Webb is one of them. This kid is 31 years old. He's the offensive pass game coordinator for the Broncos, and he's done an incredible job with Bo Nix. Unlike LaFleur, Webb already has developing a young quarterback on his resume, and honestly, that matters. Going into this cycle, Webb was seen as a young coach where it wasn't a matter of if he'd get a head coaching job, but when. His first interview with the Raiders went really well. He's on the short list. Then there's Nathan Schelheis, the pass game coordinator for the Rams. He's 35, innovative, aggressive, and willing to use his offense as a weapon. He's not Sean McVay, he's not the offensive coordinator, but this guy takes no back seat to anyone. A lot of people think he's the heir apparent for the Rams' offensive coordinator job if LaFleur leaves. He interviewed with the Raiders, and the more they dug into him, the more interesting he looked. He wasn't on the original list, but he made an impression. But the top three are still Kubiak, Webb, and LaFleur. And here's the key. All three of them are still in the playoffs. That's why the Raiders are waiting. They're not missing out. They're being patient. They're waiting for the right guy. And honestly, I respect that. I'd rather wait and get the right coach than rush and make a mistake. The bottom line is this. The Raiders have a plan. They're sticking to it. They're waiting for the right guy. And in the meantime, they're doing their homework. They've cast a wide net, they've interviewed a bunch of candidates, and the top guys are still available. The conference championships are coming up, and once those are done, the Raiders will make their move. This is all going to be settled soon. And look, I get it. As fans, we want answers now. We want to know who the coach is going to be. But rushing this decision doesn't help anyone. Tom Brady is involved. John Spytek is doing his job. They're being thorough, they're being smart. And honestly, that's what this organization needs to be doing. So, while everyone else is panicking, I'm staying calm. We're getting Fernando Mendoza, we're getting the right coach, and we're setting ourselves up for years of success.
This is the most important offseason we've had in a long time, and I trust the process. Raider Nation, our time is coming.